Nice.
Yeah.
We're lined up.
Hopefully it caught the audio.
I mean, even if it didn't,
Should
you should be able to see where the
hit the
clap is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those wondering, well, it's just the two of us. I think we mentioned that we were gonna do just the two of us last week.
I left both endings, so they didn't know what we were doing last
Yeah. We didn't really think the whole plan through. Actually, the more I thought about
we
it,
should have just assumed it was just gonna be us two.
yeah, I agree with that. And we're recording from Jesse's phone,
Yup.
so that's why we're like zoomed in on just the two of us.
Yup.
And so this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Hopefully my phone doesn't freeze, explode, or stop recording for some random reason.
And if it does, then well,
We got John's phone.
yeah, yeah. Okay. First of all, Jesse went to Scottsdale, bought a tripod for his phone.
I didn't buy it. No, I didn't buy it.
Oh, never mind.
No, I bought manga.
Anyway, first of all, Jesse went to Scottsdale and then stopped to get some food.
Yup.
So now we have something to try.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of the story, anyways.
Yup. But you can't see it because it's behind some manga.
Is Albert the one that like balances out our awkwardness?
I don't know. I think Albert has his own brand of awkwardness.
Yeah.
So apparently this is called, and you really can't see it, but this is a baklava. And
Baklava.
baklava, B-A-K lava, as in magma lava. I don't know. I don't remember what the lady described it as. It's just kind of a sweet pastry bread.
Baklava is a layered pastry dessert made of phyllo pastry filled with chopped nuts and sweetened with syrup or honey. It was one of the most popular sweet pastries of Ottoman cuisine.
Ooh. We're eating something, I forget the words. It's exotic, right?
Yeah.
We're not eating anything erotic. I hope not. This would be a weird podcast if it's
If it gets erotic, it will definitely be weird.
all right. Should I open the
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah. All right. Okay. We also brought
A knife.
a knife.
Want me to cut it?
Yeah. Do the honors.
It would be easier for me to cut it.
That was sounded crunchy.
It's very crunchy. Why is it not cutting? This thing is. It's like the monsters in this anime. They can't be killed. They said to eat this with fingers. So take whatever piece you want. The ugly one or not the ugly one. Or as Mikey would said.
I guess we should have got paper towels too.
No, it's fine. I got
Look,
your sofa.
We didn't think this through.
No, we never do.
Oh,
First impressions?
not a fan of the smell.
No? It smells kind of like Cheez-Its.
I'm not getting that.
There's a napkin right there. Right off screen. Hold on.
It's not bad.
Yeah?
I wouldn't eat a lot of it though. Like I think that's it for me.
You gonna give your mom some so she can try it?
Yeah.
Oh, that napkin?
Yeah.
Try not to choke on me.
All right, Jesse's gonna go off screen to grab the napkin.
I never turn my phone on do not disturb mode. We're back.
We're back. It was really awkward. Yeah. Perks of doing this with the phone instead of an actual camera is do not disturb mode was never placed on. So. Nope. Alrighty. It was okay. I mean, to me it's just a little too much. You ate all of it though.
Yeah,
all
I ate
your
all of it.
half.
Yeah. It was 4 out of 5. That's pretty good.
I'd give it a 3 out of 5 just because
It's no messy.
It's messy, and it was a lot in just one bite, and I don't think I could finish the whole half of that slice. Like, that was a big piece.
It was big. And you were like, where's the other half?
Yeah, I know. I was really wondering what happened to the other half.
That was the half. That was the whole.
I guess we should have probably done a clap sync before.
I'll sync it right now.
We'll figure it out.
I'll sync it right now.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, so we ended up watching Hell's Paradise, an anime that just recently came out. Jesse has been
hyping this up. I've been
mentioning it
excited.
so much.
Yep.
Why? Like, when did you start reading it? Why did you start reading it?
Okay. So the same person that introduced me to Shibuya Goldfish, it had a list of stuff he recommended that was not, I guess you would call it mainstream manga anime. And so this is one on the list. And this was one of the later ones I actually started reading. But on Attracts was on that one. And we both like that one. Shibuya Goldfish, you guys haven't touched yet. But that's the next big anime. I call it right now. Shibuya Goldfish. I'm just kidding. No one's going to watch it except for me. But we have Hell's Paradise was on that list. And this guy seems to have a really good taste in manga and in anime.
According to your interest, yeah.
Yeah, according to my interest. But I started reading it digitally, and I didn't get into it at first. And then I got the physical copies. I went to Barnes, and they had 1 through 13. They bought them all. So I saved a lot of money. And then I started hearing about the anime coming out, so I just read them all. And I loved it. It was good. Yeah.
So that got me, like, because of how excited Jesse was, it got my interest. And what better way to start watching it than for a podcast episode? So here we are today. I'll go over the details real quick, and then we can talk more about it. It's directed by Yuji Kaku. That's the manga.
Yep.
And then Kaori Makita is probably the anime, right?
Yeah.
The studio is Mappa, who's been doing basically everything.
Basically.
It's 13 episodes right now.
Yep.
And do you remember when the first one was released? It was probably
like 13 weeks ago.
Yeah, 13 weeks ago.
I'll put a date up there.
Yeah, it's streaming on Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Most importantly,
it's very weird. The distributors are also Netflix, but it's not on Netflix. So it might be if you're in Japan, maybe you have it on Netflix.
Gotcha. Do you have a solid set for it?
No, I was thinking really hard about it, but I just couldn't think of one.
I don't have a solid set either. Like, I think it's a lot easier to do solid set for movies or TV shows, but anime is kind of hard. Like
4 hours of content versus an hour and a half, it's kind of like hard to summarize.
Yeah, I agree with that. But let's go ahead and rate it then. Out of 10
Sin. 10
all
Sin.
Right. Out of 10 Sin, what would you give this rating?
I would say this is thoroughly enjoyable. I do have some complaints about it, but the score out of 10 Sin is 8 at least. So like right now it's sitting at an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at too. Like, I think within the first, so for me, I've read the 2 volumes that I have right here. I have the 3rd volume.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet, but I've seen all 13 episodes, and it's not doing anything that stands out so far, but I think it's still pretty interesting concepts. Like, I think it has some interesting meanings behind it too. So
yeah,
I'll give it an 8 as well.
Okay. Do you prefer the manga or the anime?
Right now, I think I'm preferring the manga a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't know. I think the anime like censoring some stuff for obvious reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I would definitely give the manga a read.
Yeah.
Like, I think right now I'm 2 volumes in, so that's probably around like episode 6. So it's like right at the halfway point, I believe. It's kind of hard for me to remember exactly.
Yeah, I know the first manga ends at episode 3-ish. So I'm assuming it's episode 6 for the second one.
Yeah.
For the second volume, yeah.
Which I think is pretty normal for anime to go like the first couple.
Yeah. Three to four, maybe 5
Mm-hmm.
episodes out of each volume, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We have a list of characters.
It's a long list.
It's a long list. I will probably not go over all of them. I'll probably just go over.
Probably just go over the criminals and
Isn't-
then what? Who?
Isn't Sagiri a Simon?
Yeah, she is. She was just on the top 2 of the list, and then everything was underneath. Yeah, but the main 2 I
the
put on
main two
top.
are Gabi Maru and Sagiri, and then if we need to mention the other ones, we can mention them. We probably will, but
Yeah,
I'm not gonna list all of them because then I'm gonna butcher stuff and
yeah.
I'm gonna look weird, and I don't want to do that. I'll save that for Jesse. Is there anything special you want to say about
About
just Hell's Paradise in general? Like, do you have any trivia or like spoiler-free stuff going forward? Because right now, okay, so for me right now, it's like very, very basic so far.
Mm-hmm.
Does it start to take more twists and turns as you get further in? Or does it follow the same? Because they ended on a very big cliffhanger.
Yeah. The big cliffhanger we'll talk about later. But I'm trying to remember. I just remember I stopped reading around volume 6, and then after hearing that the anime was announced, like I finished everything, and I think after that it got better because you see them sort of towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that big reveal. They change things up, and it becomes more interesting. But I think at the beginning it seems kind of basic, and it is a little bit more basic, but it gets better as you go through the volumes. And
Okay.
I'm assuming the anime too.
All right.
Yeah, but no big twists, no big turns that I can remember. I just remember Chainsaw Man having a huge twist at the end compared to this one. But I haven't finished Chainsaw Man, so
Yeah, well, I actually kind of slowed down.
yeah, I stopped at episode 6. We'll have to do that one for the podcast.
All right. We will consider that one for the podcast too. Albert, sorry.
Albert, it's only 13 episodes.
Albert in his whole tired of anime, I don't care. Okay, you can watch 13 episodes. It's not that long.
We did JoJo's, for God's sake.
Stop procrastinating. Just watch it. Just watch an episode a day and you'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll give you a month heads up notice, and you'll have plenty of time.
For 13 episodes.
Yeah.
So we're doing Chainsaw Man next week?
No.
Imagine if we just sprung that on Albert. Like, we both agreed on.
A month heads
He
up.
would probably quit. He'd probably quit the podcast. He'd be over it.
Start watching right now.
Let me record a special message and send it in. All right, let's talk about the anime.
Yeah.
Any?
I took notes. I got to pull them up.
Yeah, go ahead. How do you feel about the animation? I think Mappa does a really good job in general.
Yeah, I
Like-
think they do really good. The colors are very vibrant. Things look pretty good. It doesn't get as bad as some other. Like JoJo has some pretty bad animation sometimes.
Mhm.
So does like Naruto, One Piece. Like all the big ones have. But if it's smaller, and the story is condensed, we basically have 4 volumes worth of stuff. They probably had more time to work on it as opposed to 200, 500 episode animes. So
I mean, I don't know how much you really pay attention in a meme culture, but with how much like Mappa does, like there's like memes that the workers don't even really get much time to
yeah,
to
maybe
live life. But
that's how animation is right now, though.
mhm.
Seems like it. But yeah, just starting off with like maybe the first couple episodes, you get introduced to Gabimaru, and he's seemingly unkillable, and he's described as Gabimaru the Hollow. He's some heartless killer that belongs to the, what was the clan name? Iwagakari,
Something like that.
something
yeah.
like that. I just butchered that name right there.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I'm not even a trained killer. But yeah, it starts off really good because you get his backstory and you get Sagiri's a little bit of backstory, but hers is episode 2. But you find out that he's just not a cold-blooded killer as much as he claims to be. He actually loves his wife, which is very nice, very touching.
Yeah, I mean, like the first episode is just like they even talk about like he's just like they can't execute him. That's the term I was looking for.
Yeah.
They try all these things and you're just led to believe that like he's just invincible. And then
Yep.
when they do introduce Sagiri, like she starts to pay attention to his story and what's actually going on, and they show like the execution by the bulls and how
Yep.
he like twitches and basically brings the bulls back because in
Yeah.
reality he doesn't want to die. Like
Yeah.
he's suppressing feelings and trying to convince himself that he's just trying to die, but in reality he just wants to get back to his supposed life.
His little bubble of normacy
Mm-hmm.
that he had in this killer clan of just warriors and women who give birth to more warriors. So that was his kind of like his safe little bubble that I don't remember how. There is some twists and turns in here, but I don't remember if I forgot what I was going with this.
All right, yeah, that was a very valid point. I mean, I think for not to like really skip too far ahead, but
Yeah.
I think the biggest mystery with him is what's truth and what's not.
Yes.
Because he does tell these stories about his wife and how much he actually loves her, and he also has like the whole thing with his the clan leader and how he's invincible, and he supposedly took the elixir of life and that's how he knows it's real and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then this is what I'm talking about, where they leave it on a big cliffhanger when
Oh yeah, yeah. It was
The-
in the cave.
it was
Is
in the
that-
cave,
Yeah.
and the I forget the Kunoichi's name.
It's like Yuzu
Yeah,
Riha.
we'll just call her Yuzu.
Yuzu.
But yeah, you're right. She says that like it's very common practice for them to be manipulated from
Yeah.
like a young age to
Yep.
believe certain things, and we don't really know if his wife is real.
Yeah. Do you
or
know her
not.
name? Do you know any of that? Do you?
Yeah,
and
have you
she's
seen
like,
her?
Yeah. Like
And
No.
with the same thing with the clan leader, like
I just noticed, we have our bad lighting on.
I don't think it looks bad from here though. Maybe.
Well, it makes our faces look super chiseled.
Nice. But yeah, like we don't even know much about the clan leader as well. Like, is he really invincible? Was it all just an act? Like, what's really going on with him? And then to top it off, something happens where he, Gabimaru loses his.
Sorry. He loses his memory, right?
He loses his memory. Yeah. Oh, so. Well,
Yeah.
that's what we're assuming is happening because of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that like in the manga, you're kind of you're teeter-tottering because of that. Like, is it real? Does his wife actually exist? Is she like a figment? Or maybe the person does exist, but she's part of a play. Like, it's just, it gets kind of trippy in the mind. So that's one good aspect. I guess, non-spoiler, I won't reveal if she is or is not real, but you get that playing of that emotion with him and yourself.
Is it just 13 volumes?
Just 13. It's very short, sweet, and I like that. I don't have to buy his 70
Oh, yeah.
volumes.
I mean, I think I have all the way up to Bleach 70 something, and I'm not even close to done with all of it. So,
Yeah.
that's just how the bigger manga is.
Yep.
One Piece is even worse because.
Oh yeah, so over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I like this is the one thing I don't like about how anime is being released nowadays, though, is like I do like that it's weekly, so it gives us some time to not binge it and get exhausted from it.
Yeah.
But I hate how they end at 13 and then season 1 part 2 comes out like later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks. Like I wish it would either be more consistent with releasing the whole season in like the 24 weeks or whatever they decide to do, or something else.
Yeah. I agree, but
Because I think Attack on Titan is the biggest one right now, where it was like the season finale or the final season. There, that's the word. And the final season for part 1 came out like almost a year and a half ago.
yeah.
Like, I was just barely starting at my new job, so, and it's just barely gonna be coming back out. So it's just a little frustrating.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I'm assuming it's just because they just don't have enough people to animate everything. So we still haven't even seen the second part of Haikyuu, the last season that just came out, and there's rumors that it might never ever come out.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
just
It's just how it is.
how it is right now.
Dang.
It sucks.
Don't cry. I'm here for you, buddy.
Thanks. I finished all the manga though, so
Are they done with the manga? Are they like
yeah,
stopped?
I have all the.
How
I
many
have
is
the
there?
final.
45?
I forgot. it's right out there in the living room though.
X-ray vision.
You know where I could look?
Google?
So
Oh, you have? Do you have your bookshelf updated?
yeah.
Wait, do you?
Okay, so hold on. Just so everyone knows, Jesse once introduced me to this app called Bookshelf,
Bookshelf. Yep.
and it just keeps track of all the stuff that you have.
Yep.
And
Books.
it's very, very easy, very
Convenient.
convenient. So, but the thing is there's definitely a way where you can mark all the ones that you have read,
Yes.
and I'm just too lazy to do that. So what I do is when I finish reading
You
it,
move it to a different shelf.
no,
Oh.
that's when I scan it, is when I finish reading it. So everything I have scanned, I've read.
Oh. Well, there's definitely a way how to mark that they're being read. I'll
Yeah.
teach you after the podcast.
I mean, I know there is because I see how to do it. I'm just too lazy to do it that way. There are 47 volumes in my bookshelf, so I'm assuming there are 47 volumes of Haikyuu.
Okay. Nice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. But there's only 13 of this manga, and we should probably get back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get you're introduced to Gabimaru, and then you get introduced to the island, this paradise that all of the convicts are going to.
Where they're searching for this elixir of life.
Yep, they're looking for this because the Shogun wants to be immortal, or I don't know.
Tokugawa.
Yeah, he just wants, I don't know, maybe he wants the power to say he's immortal, or he can manipulate people. I don't know what the plan is behind it. They don't really go into detail. Anyways, they only have enough of the what are they called? Asaemon.
Simon. Yeah.
Asaemon. They don't have like maybe 10, 15.
One per criminal.
One per criminal. So they have to. What's the Joker say? I forgot. Tryouts. What does he say?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they only have 2 spots left. No, I'm kidding. But they have to limit the numbers, and whoever dies is not worthy of going on the trip anyways. So everyone's killing each other. Well, Gabimaru is just kind of sitting around.
He's
like,
chilling.
Yeah, like, hey, like, why you gotta kill people? It's not right. It's super easy not to kill people. That's basically what he says. And so they go, hey, someone who kills this guy is automatically granted access to the island. So everyone tries to kill him, and he just goes crazy and just starts slitting throats and punching hearts. Yeah, everything. Every which way you think you can kill him. I think I saw him kill with a pinky one time, but maybe I missed that part.
Maybe, I don't know.
Anyways, they get all the numbers down. They get to the island, and they start finding weird bugs, weird creatures, and everything seems weirdly unnatural.
Yeah.
And the island's beautiful, but it's also deadly. There's a really good dichotomy with everything. There's a good balance of everything in this, and Sagiri's way is the middle way, so they're really emphasizing balance or a middle path, not being extreme to one side and to another side.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that message right there.
Yeah, I think what they've with the manga and the anime have done a good job of is introducing things in general, because at the beginning they lead you to believe that Gabimaru is like the most powerful person there is.
Yeah.
And as the story unfolds, you realize that he just has out of the group, he has just like probably the most experience and most potential, but like he's definitely not the strongest being on this island by far. Like
that's refreshing in a manga or an anime, because your main characters most of the time, if he's not the strongest, he's like second.
Yeah.
And this guy's probably, everyone on this island is either trained or for killing or just super strong. They have their own abilities. It's not like Naruto with a demon fox and then everyone else just kind of little
sprinkled
kids.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the good thing about it.
Yeah.
Because you get introduced to the Asaimon, and they're all really strong and they're all respected by everyone. Even the criminals are fearing. Gabimaru fears Sagiri. He knows how strong she is, and if she wanted to, she could take his head off any point of time. So that's refreshing. But you get introduced to all the other people, which the names are on a different tab.
on a different tab. let me pull that up. But then you slowly get to introduce to the life that's there, and there's these like weird creatures that are just kind of like just basically mobs, just NPCs.
Yeah.
No one really cares about. They're easy to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly you get, I think pretty early on, you get introduced to what is so far the big bads, which are the Tensen, right?
Yes.
That's what they're called.
Yes.
And the Tensen are these beings that are, what's the term for it? Where they're like, they basically are dual. Not that I don't want to say gender, but
they're
that's
just
basically,
like
they can transform into male and female.
What's the
and
term?
Plant life.
Starts with an A, I think. When it's just like, I don't know what it's called, but yeah, they basically can switch. They have the ability to switch between a feminine and a male. Yeah, feminine and masculine side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a very, I don't know. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out which religion has something similar to that, but I probably just screw myself over and get canceled, so let's not do that.
I think they talk mostly about Buddhism, and
Taoism,
right?
yeah.
So
like yin and yang. I think one of the episodes has yin and yang in it, so it's just a balancing act. And the power system in this, the energy system, what is that called? Tao?
yeah, I think they're calling it Tao so far.
And they don't give you a lot to work with, but they give you enough to kind of build like a foundation of understanding. There's an energy that's similar to the force that kind of you can feel if you're open to it, but you have to be in the right mindset to feel it, to understand it, and you have to be even greater in the mind to manipulate it.
Mm-hmm.
So towards the end of the series, certain character, the anime, they start to see it, feel it, and start using it as weapons.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know how, I haven't watched a bunch of anime, but the energy system seems different or
it's
similar.
different. Like, I don't want to say it's different because it's pretty run of the mill.
Yeah.
But I think it's just different because like even though our human characters have the ability to use it, they're still it's very limiting to them,
Yeah.
and it's very taxing on their bodies.
Yeah.
Whereas the Tensen, it's, so far, it just seems like it's boundless. Like they have more powers that they could use with it. And
Yeah.
like we mentioned that they switched between male and female, and
Yeah.
there's no. So from my understanding so far is like there's no like disadvantages or advantages to it. It just like whatever form they prefer. I don't know, like the one switches into a female and he just starts beating up on Gabby Maru, but
Yeah.
like I don't know if it was just because like they're more comfortable in that form or whatnot. And then they even have more powers where they turn into like plant-like beings, I guess. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's they kind of get into it a little bit, like why they have male and female forms later on, and you kind of see when you're first introduced to them what they don't explain what's happening. You just think that it's fan service, but there's actually a purpose to that scene you're introduced to. So you have to kind of pay attention to that going forward.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you watch it, I don't know if you watch it in Japanese or English.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, Japanese?
Yeah, Japanese.
I watched it in Japanese the first time, and I made it 7 episodes into English, and I just didn't have time to finish it all the way through again. But if you read it or what subtitles, or if you hear it in English, there's kind of differences. I think they do a better job in Japanese when it comes to explaining different topics and concepts. So I recommend
reading
Japanese.
it, to be honest with you.
Oh,
Like,
manga wise?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the manga does a really good job so far
Yeah.
of explaining things better than both.
Yeah.
Or, and maybe it's just because like I can read it and take my time understanding it, whereas like in the anime, like I'm listening to it and trying to understand it at the same time things are still progressing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting though.
Yeah. What was I gonna say about the manga? I forgot. Because I let you speak, I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
If I remember it, I'll get back to you on it. I just recommend the manga over the anime, but
I think
I like both.
yeah, I think you should definitely read the manga.
Yeah.
And then if you enjoy it enough, watch the anime.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that.
Because it's easier to understand the concepts in the manga, and then when you're watching the anime, you don't have to understand it.
Yeah.
You could just enjoy the animation, because I think the animation's great, and like you mentioned earlier, it's beautiful, things are colorful, but there's just a lot to take in when you're watching it. So definitely read the manga first.
Yep. I think the only thing I have to say about the manga versus the anime is that motions in the panels are difficult to sometimes interpret. There's a moment with Mai, who you get introduced, or May or Mai, I think it's Mai. You get introduced to her, and she does something in the manga that I had no idea what she was doing, but in the anime, you can clearly tell she's in a bubble and she's sliding down a mountain. You remember that part where she kind of like shields?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
It's in the anime.
No, but in the manga I haven't gotten that far.
Oh, okay, yeah. So in the manga, I had no idea what was happening. I was like, where'd they go? What was this power? Like, what was she doing? I was super confused. I read through it a couple
I know
times.
what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. Some of the manga is hard to understand, but if you have frame by frame animation, that it's going to be easier to do motion.
Yeah.
So they're on the island, and they're fighting all these monsters. Who they run into first? They run into. I'm trying to remember. They don't run into the big guy first. They run into the.
They run into the dude that has all the weapons.
Oh yeah. That guy.
The monk that the monk that was training for combat and just fell in love with weapons, so he just went on mass murder.
Yeah.
To take all these weapons and.
Yeah. I feel like some of the fights in the anime happen really fast.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. It feels a little rushed where you can take your time in here and there's probably more dialogue and you just can understand it and soak it up better. Here it's just like boom, 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 boom. And then like the next episode happens, it's another pair of people. And I'm like, but I just barely got introduced to them.
So far, I would say because right now, what happened in volume 1 was the monk.
Yep.
And then they team up with Yuzu and the other two. And then in volume 2, you get the fight with the giant.
Yeah.
And then they also have the other story with what is Tenza?
Tenza, yeah.
I remember his name because of Bleach, Tenza Zangetsu. But anyway, so then they get a little bit into that and them trying to escape the island. But I would say so far, I think the fights have been pretty accurate according to like they don't feel rushed. But we haven't even gotten into the important fights yet. So
yeah. After the giant, who do they run into? Then
that's when they first meet the tree guy and
May. Yeah, they go to his village, they get arrested, and then they're trying to ask him about the elixir of life. What's going on? How is he part of this? Who's the girl? Like he won't answer all the questions because he's not obligated to, and it might reveal something that
would affect him.
So they're trying to give as little information as possible, but lead them towards the center of the island, which is where the gods of the island are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tensen. So the middle of the island, that's called what? Horai?
Horai, yeah.
Horai?
That sounds right.
Yeah, Hori, I don't know. But it's that's where the real trouble is. And they make it towards the end, right? Before that's like the last couple episodes, and they fight. I don't even know the names of some of the Tenzen, but it's either Jufa or Toofu, but I don't know. Tofu. But it's either one of them where they're fighting them, and Gabimaru and the Shion guy, the blind guy, are fighting him. That's when they're already in.
Gabimaru isn't part of that fight, is he?
No, he's not. Never mind.
It's Sagiri,
Yuzu, and the blind.
Senta helps out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the blind guy. I like the blind guy.
He's really cool. I was gonna do my hair like in a faux hawk, kind of like him, but I didn't have time. But yeah, there's so many good characters in here. I think Gabimaru is pretty interesting, but I think we get other characters that are just as interesting as Gabimaru as well. Like I'm gonna try to say this name, but it's the Azad Chobe, the guy with the missing eye or blind eye, and his younger brother. I think they're pretty interesting. Their struggle. They were orphaned as a kid. They were always mistreated, but the older brother is always good at adapting to change, and that's what makes him the strongest. Or that's what makes him so strong, is he's able to adapt. Interestingly enough, the younger brother, his name is Toma. He's part of the Asaemon. Mm-hmm. His gender's kind of ambiguous in the manga and in the anime, but in the English dub, it's hard to tell if he's voiced by a guy or a girl. That's a very good performance. It caught me off guard because I was just kind of trying to figure out. I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure he's a dude, but he doesn't sound. It might be a girl voicing. But if you get a chance and you do want to watch in English, it's the performances are also good in English compared to Japanese. Does a really good job as well.
Mm-hmm. So the Tenzen that they kill at the end is Mudon.
I don't even have him on the list.
I just literally looked up the wiki for it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was curious too.
Yeah. Mudan. Okay.
They briefly go over each of their names, but
It's so quick.
it's so quick, and it's like we're still very early into it that it's just like it's hard for me to tell them apart.
Oh yeah.
Because they're all very similar and looks, and like
Yeah.
I think like they have different color hairs, but
yeah.
I was thinking he was at first, like in my mind I was thinking he was the one that was wearing green that kills
Tenza?
yeah, but it's not the same
No,
one.
no, it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
So
They all kind of look the same as the couple. Like kind of, you can tell their eyes are covered and they have like a purple or pink leaf hair, but like some of them look more different, and then some just look the same.
I think what's the most interesting about like all of our human characters so far is how quickly and how differently they're each discovering what's going on.
Yeah.
Like just because like you talk about the bandit and his brother, like their experience so far is vastly different than our main group,
Yeah.
and like how they are interpreting the information that they receive based on their fights and is completely different. Like he's the one that realizes he's healing from the waist up, so he
Yeah.
must like their main source of power must be in their
Like their
yeah
abdominal region.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then as opposed to the other group where I think they like Gabi Maru is just like experimenting and
Yeah.
just hits a weak point, and
yeah.
that's kind of how they discover. So it's really interesting. Like every character thinks differently.
Mhm.
It's hard to get attached to too many of them because
They're
like,
dying left and right.
Yeah, they're dying left and right. And you think like, oh, these two are part of the main story because they're jumping off to them, and then
And then boom, one dies.
One dies. Yeah, like when Tensa died, I was just like in shock because I thought he was going to be around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, the blind guy, it's like you just kind of see him off screen. I didn't even realize he was blind at first until they brought it up because you see him behead the criminal that he was with,
Yeah.
and then it's just like, huh, you know, like. And then you get him later, and he's like, "Man, this guy's really cool."
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna kill him off as opposed to his
Yeah,
student.
yeah.
Like that's typically what you would do, and the master dies so the apprentice can avenge him.
Yeah, but in this case, it's like his apprentice dies, and we get the backstory where it's like this is the second one basically,
Yeah.
and he gets really attached to his pupils, and he doesn't want to train anyone else because he doesn't want to see young people die anymore. And so-
Yeah. And so now, not only does his apprentice learn, like what it means to be kind of his own sensei to a person, but to not be so selfish and to kind of give your life to something greater, which is allowing his sensei and
the girl,
the criminal,
Yeah.
to the girl to escape. And so, without even saying
so
words,
crazy.
without even saying words, like they can read each other's thoughts. Like he goes to basically, I think, attack the Tenzin, but he realizes like he's given a chance to escape, and
Mhm.
it's not about revenge, but to survive and
and
to strategize.
Yeah. And that's crazy. Like that's just some of the misleading parts of like these backstories is they give a whole backstory for Tenza,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, this guy's gonna be pretty important going forward, and then right after he's done.
He's done.
He's over. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's good to have kind of that refreshive take. Refreshive? That's not a word.
Refreshing
Refreshing.
take.
Refreshing. Yeah. It's good to have. It's good to have different takes on these situations where it isn't all the same shonen style, like power up Rasengan,
Yeah.
that type of style of storytelling where not everyone has to have a power up. It's actually about organically evolving characters and learning from situations.
Yeah.
So I think that's where this excels. Is and maybe it's not the like it doesn't stand out in certain ways, but the characters themselves are good characters.
Yeah, and I think so far it's doing a good job of telling a story where, like, not necessarily we don't. I actually don't even know if Gabby Maru is our main character half the time.
Yeah.
Just because, of how it's being told. Like, yeah, he's the focal point so far, but it just makes me wonder, like, if it's just misleading us to believe that he's the main character when it's actually telling a story of like Sagiri or something.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, every time they tell a backstory, something
changes.
changes. Yeah. So
Don't get too attached to your characters in this anime and manga
yeah,
because you're gonna be sorry.
it makes me want to just like read it more and go out and buy it because I think I can read it on
Viz, yeah, you
Yeah.
can read on Viz.
but I also do want to have my own copies just because I like having my
They're
own
good.
copies.
Yeah, when the anime came out, like Barnes and Nobles blew up with this manga, so I was very happy to see people start reading it more. Where are we at in the story that we're telling?
So what you left off on was we did talk about how they ended up fighting some of the Tenzin.
Yeah,
We talked about them killing Mudan, but
we haven't really talked about that.
we didn't really talk about that fight in general, which I
Yeah.
thought was really good.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the beginning of that fight. That's probably like what episode 10, I
Mhm.
think. It's like 2 episodes for that one. And they finally get into the gates
Yeah,
and
I think he beheads the tree guy first, right?
oh yeah, he just like knocks his head off right away.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember how it starts, but
I think so far, because right now we're finding out that the elixir isn't necessarily what everyone thinks it is,
yeah.
and all these Tenzin are talking about like the potential of these human characters and what they can be turned into, like
Yeah.
because we find out that the humans are being turned into this elixir for the Tenzin,
Yeah.
and based off the potential, it's like more potent, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's interesting is they have to be alive because if they kill them, like it's not something that can transform.
Yeah.
But he's just like assessing all of them, and
Yeah.
he leads to believe that certain ones aren't, and then Sagiri really like kind of
just kind of
transforms.
yeah. She I think because they set her up to be taken a different way from everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole I think the mindset you have to be in is in a balance, or maybe a word is like oscillating between two polar opposites. I think they set her up to have great potential to use the energy that is in the story, and she ends up
I
She
think
isn't-
she ends up delivering the final blow, right?
yeah, but she doesn't really understand what it is, but she's starting to feel it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, isn't it Xion?
Shion?
Does he do the final blow?
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's her.
Okay, I don't remember, but it's a combination of it's him, her,
Senta plays a part in
Senta plays in it.
it. Yuzu.
Yuzu at the beginning gets rescues Sagiri, gives her a chance to kind of like see how powerful they are, and her techniques against like other people would be really good, but she's fighting something so powerful that he's just kind of getting limbs cut off and then just regenerating. But yeah, it's as you go through closer and closer to the center of the island, threats are becoming stronger, and your strong main characters and side characters aren't enough to defeat. So they have to start forming alliances to at least not die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to see that it's not just focusing on particular characters. They're starting to form groups, and as you go along and you figure out how the powers work a little bit more, groups are changing because they're understanding kind of what works and what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So these groups don't always stay the same. So you'll get to see as you move forward in the manga why they're changing, and because of certain fights, they learn different things, and then they change because of that. So it's not always like, oh, Gabimaru, he's got to be the number one person because he's the strongest. No, everyone has their own pros and cons,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they form teams, which is pretty good.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty interesting how they were basically learning as they're fighting this Tenzin, and they finally think that they defeated and they could take a break, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
just like they didn't even. It
Yeah.
wasn't even his final form. Like they kill him, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And all these flowers start to blossom up, and
yeah,
he just transforms into this like really hard to describe looking. It's
Yeah.
like both of his genders
yeah.
are like connecting at the top, and
Of the
there's
head, yeah,
yeah.
it's very interesting.
it's very interesting form, and
It's like Pennywise. You can't really describe it. You just have to just watch it for yourself.
I think like it's just definitely, and it's just kind of like it's beautiful and ugly in its own way.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what I like about a lot of the design in this manga and anime is like things are beautiful, but also like really ugly.
Really weird, really
Yeah.
ugly. You're trying to figure out what is being shown to you. I thought at one, maybe I'm just misremembering, but or maybe I'm thinking future, but there wasn't any two that combined. It was just one that splits between their two different sides, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like maybe I'm thinking ahead or something.
Maybe, but yeah, no. We only got two. I forget what
Form
the
changes.
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what they're called, but
you only get two of them. But the first one didn't stand out as much as the second one did. Like
was the
second
first
is-
one like a long necked kind of creature, like a
Yeah.
dinosaur almost, but
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah, something like that. But
Bulbasaur.
like a sunflower-ish looking
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. And the second one was still flower-ish, but almost like a TP of weird appendages, and I don't know.
That like just come together, and as they're fighting the second form, it's just like they're trying to figure out. I think at one point they almost like consider like giving up just because.
Yeah.
And then they go to finish the blow, and like what I thought was like really creepy about it is when she does, because I think Cinta tells her to cut like a certain area at a certain area, and so that's what she does, and then like it opens up, and it's just like a bunch of him or
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
inside it, and it's just like really creepy, and then it just kind of like disappears.
Yeah. I think
It's kind of hard to describe.
it's
these
very
fight scenes,
hard.
yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about and you're still interested, I would just recommend watching the intro, because the intro is just kind of has the weird visual, almost psychedelic style of this anime. And if you think you're sort of liking that, I would say just give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah. The intros and outros, what do you think about them? Have you heard the full songs on Spotify?
Nah,
No?
I don't really go too much into the full songs, but I remember seeing the intro. The intro is definitely like how you describe it. So
Yeah. I'd recommend listening to at least the intro on Spotify. It's the full version, and if you think the intro is cool, I think the full version is just so much more interesting. It gets into different styles, different beats, and you don't hear that in the 1 minute 30-second version that you get in the intro. And it kind of sums up how weird this series is becoming.
I mean, even the cover art and stuff is really interesting too. I mean,
Yeah.
This is our main character, one of our main characters, and it looks like she's dying. So. And
Oh,
even
she's
the back-
posing.
or
I
she's
th-
posing.
I thought this was number 2 because Sagiri is on the front, but apparently they swapped it. So
Yeah.
it's all about balance, right? Yeah, like even the front, like is he falling? Like what's going on with Gabby Maru? You don't even know. He's just kind of up there looking at you like,
Very creepy. Yeah.
What's going on? I don't even know what's going on." But yeah, like it's 13 episodes. It's very short, but there's a lot that happen in these 13 episodes to really describe. You just kind of have to go in and see it for yourself. Yeah, I knew just based on the manga, they draw certain details that aren't animated in the anime. I knew it was going to be censored just because of it gets violent, but also you're just not allowed to show
Nudity, yeah.
some of the nudity that's in here. So I was just
I don't think it just takes it away from it though.
Yeah.
Like the nudity, like it's in there,
yeah,
but it's not like it's not that big of a deal.
yeah, they don't make
We're
a
all
big deal
grown-ups,
about it.
like-
You do see some of the big creatures. They have nipples, but
Mm.
I mean, if you're into that thing, that's all for you.
That's all for you. I don't have anything else to say though. I think
Yeah,
I think it's I think we summed it up as best as we could. It's definitely very interesting though, and I recommend either reading it
watching
or,
it.
or watching it. Yeah.
If you try to watch it in Spanish and you don't speak Spanish, it doesn't have subtitles. So just a heads up.
Jesse's quest to learn Spanish through anime.
Yeah, but if it doesn't have subtitles, it does, but it has Spanish subtitles, so it does not help me at all. Actually, it might help me.
It might help you learn to read too. Yeah, with that being said, like I think we're done.
Yeah, I think, and my brother told me this, so I haven't seen it. I think this has been talked about as being the anime of the year so far, but I don't know because it's barely came out, and or when they decide that. But if John can look it up and figure it out, all I know is it's pretty good. I would say I like it better than Chainsaw Man so far. What other anime has came out this year that we have watched?
I haven't watched anything this year. I've watched a little bit of Chainsaw Man, but I haven't seen the full thing. I got more into like reading it.
Yeah,
Um,
that one's good in manga form. Better manga form. Demon Slayer. I know like season 3's out now.
I haven't even watched it. Like, I'm just not as interested into Demon Slayer as most people are.
Yeah, it's kind of more kiddish.
Yeah.
Maybe, but with demons, which is weird.
I'm just. I know Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 just
Started streaming.
started streaming. I
You-
might watch it.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
Like,
I probably watched Chainsaw Man before Jujutsu Kaisen.
I'll probably go back and watch Chainsaw Man before doing that too. Just I don't know. There's not like a lot of things that are piquing my interest right now. So that's
Yeah.
kind of why we were either watching JoJo's or you suggested this. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Give it a try, you know.
Are you glad that you watched it?
I'm glad that I'm reading it.
Yeah.
I think I would much rather read it right now
Yeah.
than watch it.
Just because it's going to be truncated, 13 episodes. I think we're probably getting 39 episodes for this because it ends on volume 5 and there's 13 volumes. So I think we're going to get maybe we'll stretch it out to maybe 45 or 50, but I think 39 is probably going to be a solid number for this anime.
Yeah, I'm guessing that like they're just gonna like I think that's just the end of season 1, right?
Yeah, maybe, or maybe it's part 1, but they could stretch the final finale to be a whole 13 episodes by itself, possibly, because a lot happens in that. So much that I can't remember.
Yeah, so far it says that season 2 has not been confirmed, but early to mid 2024.
Yeah, so we got a while to go, at least a year.
Yeah.
But there's other stuff to watch in the meantime. So Let us know what you want to watch. We'll watch anime for you.
Yeah, we'll watch it definitely.
Except for Hunter x Hunter, don't recommend that. Or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, don't recommend those.
I've already watched them, so I don't really mind, but I've already seen it, and so I don't really want to go back and watch it. And Jesse has like a full disdain for Hunter x Hunter, so
I'm just kidding. I don't hate it. I started rewatching it again for the third time, and it's okay. It's not terrible, but I think I'm just already attached to a series that's super similar to it, so it's just
Rasengan Shuriken.
If you want us to watch other animes, I'll do Hunter x Hunter. All right, I do it for the podcast.
I mean, I'll do anything. I'll watch any anime for the podcast.
$20 is $20. No, I'm kidding. We don't get paid for this.
Also, I was talking to Jesse about it earlier. Like, we think about like reviewing food too. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Let us know if you guys would watch that.
Yeah.
We're just trying to find other ideas to do besides hour-long podcasts.
Yeah.
So, all right. Jugs and plugs. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Like, subscribe, share, all the above. If you guys have watched Hell's Paradise or read the manga, let us know what you guys think.
What's your favorite anime that came out this year? Let us know. We'll look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, this has been the Legendary Sip Podcast, and I think next week we're doing what we didn't do this week. So
We started watching it, but what, you want to do the thing in theaters?
What's the thing in theaters?
What's the thing?
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, no, that's not the thing.
Oh,
I thought there was a movie being released this week.
is there?
Let me double check. Pause. Movie's released in July. I don't know why I didn't put in July. When does Oppenheimer come out?
Is that July?
I don't know. That's why I asked you.
I don't know. My phone's right there.
Oh yeah. What is today? The 9th?
Yeah. You have the phone. I don't know. I don't know. I thought that
You
was a
also have a
rhetorical
tablet
question.
in your hand. Does your tablet not tell time?
It does. It's the 9th. And Bluetooth is on. Turned off my Bluetooth.
Let's see. Nothing.
You don't have the calendar on your thing still?
I think I do, but I just, whatever reason, just went to this. I do actually. I know I do have the calendar because every time I look at it, like all the colors for it pop up.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Albert kind of wants to see that. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Oppenheimer comes out next week.
Okay.
So, all right. So yeah, this has been the Legendary Sip Podcast. So join us next time for Spider-Man of the Raimi trilogy, the first movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna push through that one.
John.
I've already watched it
Yeah.
because I wasn't sure if we were doing it this week,
Yep. And I started watching it again.
and I think we both are around the same mindset of.
I don't know. I think we might be slightly different. I think here's my predictions for next week. Albert's gonna be the highest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the middle,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be the lowest.
No, that's definitely how it's gonna be. I don't have as much attachment to those movies, so.
Yeah. I will give you a sneak peek. These Spider-Man movies, the Raimi Spider-Man, especially number 1, got me into art and drawing. My first thing I drew was Spider-Man, and
That's
you
all
remember
you
me.
drew for the longest time.
Yeah, I skipped recess to draw. I was the kid sitting on the rocks on the dirt drawing Spider-Man. I was a Spider-Man kid in elementary school.
Yeah. Will this be the sip we've been looking for?
Bye.
Bye.
I gotta turn it off. Is there a signal I can turn off the video with? No, there isn't. I gotta get up.
All right, something for you.